Buenos días. La Escuela de Posgrado y el Departamento de Ciencias Económicas y Empresariales de la Universidad Católica San Pablo y el International Project Management Association, IPMA, le da la más cordial bienvenida a la presentación del webinar denominado Business and Projects, segundo webinar del ciclo de webinars denominado People and Projects. El webinar estará a cargo del Dr. Jesús Martínez Almela, presidente global del International Project Management Association, IPMA, quien cuenta con certificación nivel A, y el MBA Inson Hu, presidente y consultor senior de EAH Consultant en Canadá. Antes de iniciar la presentación, pido su atención para darles las siguientes recomendaciones. La duración de la exposición será de 30 minutos y tendremos luego 10 minutos para realizar las consultas que podrán escribirlas en el chat. Por favor, considerar que el webinar se realizará en inglés. Cedo la palabra al Dr. Jesús.
Thank you so much, Sofía. Good morning, buenos días, Peru, Arequipa. And if someone is from the North European hemisphere, will be afternoon. Today, I am glad to continue with our series of webinars organized by the University San Pablo de Arequipa in Peru, between our association IPMA Peru and IPMA LATNet in the south, who is the network of Latin associations of IPMA. So let me to welcome. It's really a pleasure to me to introduce Mr. Hyson Hu from Vancouver, from Canada. So Hyson is a civil engineer with more than 45 years of experience in both sectors, private and public, in Canada, mostly. And he is also president of EHA Consultants, who is a consultant specialized in transportation studies and consultancy and project management. He holds a civil engineer and a master in business administration degree from Canadian universities. And just 2 years ago, I remember that he also gives lectures for many years in the University of Piura from since 1994. And he also given project management talks 2 years ago in Arequipa, in the University of San Pablo, and as well in the Professional Engineers Chamber of Peru. Was my pleasure to share with Hyson at that time. So Hyson, thank you to be here. It's a pleasure to me to welcome.
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Sophia. It's an honor and a privilege to be here and to participate in your webinar, People and Projects. I'm very pleased to be able to share my project management experiences with you and everyone here. Thank you, Hashu.
Thank you too, Hyson. Let's, because we need to stick with the time, and this is part of the project management responsibilities to accomplish the time, quality, and many other things. So my first question to you, because the today topics is business and projects, and both always we will focus on the people. So Hyson, you are a successful businessman. You are an engineer, and as well you act as project manager, working for more than 45 years. It's a lot of time. It's a whole life. And You focus in the sector of transportation in North America, especially in Canada and in Vancouver area. And it is interesting to know, looking all your good experience, if you have some main criteria or principles regarding how to do projects in an engineering company.
Yes, Jesus, thank you. When I asked to make a presentation today, and I look at IPMA's Peru's motto, it says better people, better projects, and better world. And I found it has a very deep meaning, and it's very important for a project manager. In fact, IPMA's current version 4 competencies baseline contains 10 people's competencies, 5 perspective competencies, and 13 practice competencies. They represent the high non-technical competencies requirements of a project manager. The topic today is business and projects. I see a business is a project, and that a project is a business. Successful business administrators and project managers require the same skill set. You can call business administrators project managers, and project managers as business administrators. All of them do strategic planning, budgets, finance, cost control, quality control, time and schedule planning, effective and efficient use of available resources, and consider external and natural environments, opportunities and constraints, etc. The one major difference is that business must make a profit to survive, and project spends budgeted and other resources. So project managers spend money. Business must make money. However, they both require practice, people, and perspective competencies to succeed. So today, I plan on discussing the principles of a project manager. This discussion is about you as a project manager. In preparing this talk, I cannot find any references on how to be a better project manager. There are many books, papers, articles written on project management, such as the project triangle and how to understand and organize a project. There are also many software packages available in critical paths, Gantt charts, scheduling, on-time delivery, etc. They are about project management processes, and I will not be dealing with them in this discussion. Today, I'll share my 6 principles of a project manager with you. I have gone back to search for a framework for a competent project manager using my over 45 years of professional experiences as an engineer, a businessman, an administrator, and an entrepreneur. As well, I also search in my experiences as an instructor in Aikido and meditation. These principles will give you a framework to develop, guide, and maintain as a competent project manager. They relate to the overall competencies of IPMA requirements of people competence and some perspective competence elements. These principles are particularly relevant this uncertain time of the COVID-19 pandemic. For every crisis and chaos, there are opportunities. And let's remember, there are always opportunities, some good, some bad, but good opportunities always exist. And you can always step up to do this and to help other communities and society. These principles are about you, not about the project management process. We would not have time to discuss in detail all these principles, but I hope to introduce them to you to give you a framework so you can explore and learn about yourself to be a better individual and a better project manager. If you change, the world will change with you. My six principles of a project manager: 1, Project first decisions are paramount. 2, leaders lead and others will gladly follow. 3, knowing project details is essential. 4, know your characteristic traits and project types. 5, mentor and help your team grow and develop. 6, sharing will make the world change for the better. And these are my 6 principles, Hasu. I'll pass it back to you.
Thank you so much, Hisun. It's really interesting principles, and many of those, as you said, also focus our standard for individuals. So you are raising something relevant because you are utilizing a paramount word. So my question to you is, why is it paramount that decision must be project first?
Yes, Hasu. You know, there are many stakeholders in a project. For example, the project itself, the project owner, the approval agencies, the community, investors, financiers, and project professionals like you. These stakeholders have different objectives and goals and have invested in the project. How do you make decisions relating to the project? There's only one criterion, only one parameter. Make decisions for the sole interest, benefit, and betterment of the project. The principle here is that if the decisions are best for the project, all stakeholders will agree that they are the right ones. Your decision cannot and will not please all stakeholders, but they will accept the decisions if they will make for the best interest of the project. Everyone benefits with such a decision because the project is better off. You need to introduce well why the project exists. You need to understand well the reasons why the project exists, and therefore understand its goals and objectives. You should avoid selfish gains and egoistic decisions. Your decisions should give due consideration to ethics, to laws, technical and financial requirements and constraints, as well as public interest and safety. You also must keep regular and frequent communication with your stakeholders, especially the owner of the project. Your communication should explain the why of the decisions and related parameters. You lead with good information flow, and others will gladly follow you. You should also give due consideration to COVID-19 safety rules and guidelines as we are in the pandemic. Right decisions for the project will be a win-win for all stakeholders, and therefore, when you make decisions, you have to consider the project first, nothing else. Not an egoistic one, not a personal one, and you have to consider your decision for the project. Thank you, Hasu.
Really interesting, Hisun. Thank you so much for your wise and experienced response, because this is a real paramount. In this paramount, you are addressing relevant questions. It's about leadership. It's about to demonstrate by that what you preached means something more. So my question to you, Hisun, is why do project managers want others to follow?
Thank you, Hasu. Leadership is a very important topic in project managers. There are many literatures and written about styles and principles of leadership. I will discuss here how you can be a good leader regardless of your leadership styles. You must lead the team and others so they will gladly follow you. You should not lead by pulling. You should not lead by pushing. You should not lead by dragging the team and others. Doing so will be very exhausting for you and your team. As well, such leadership approach will generate dissension and resentment. You should lead with earnest trust. You should lead with earned trust, respect, and love. You must develop a positive and calm mind. A positive mind sees how issues can be resolved and tasks accomplished. A calm mind sees more possibilities, and therefore decisions are more informed and better. A calm mind is also aware of larger trends in society and the world. One can achieve a calm mind by praying or by meditation, etc. You must approach everyone with a positive attitude and a calm mind. It is important that you do so in adversity. In time of adversity, stay on the bright and positive side. The team will follow you. If you take a doomsday approach, you take a pessimistic approach, the team is pessimistic and discouraged. If the situation involves negotiations, arguments, and conflicts, you should practice a win-win and non-dissension approach with a positive attitude. If the resolutions are for the benefit of the project, everyone wins. You don't have to fight, you don't have to argue, and your team and stakeholders will gladly follow. Hasu. I'll pass it back to you.
Yeah, thank you. It's really a really fantastic picture from some professional like you with all this life experience addressing what means and what should means leadership in project management, and more in the current pandemic worldwide situation. So thank you for addressing these really, really important responses. Here's on my third questions to you. Something quite different about the previous one. So the question is, why is essential to know project details?
Yes, as an effective and efficient project manager, you know the project well. You have to. You need to have clarity and completeness of the goals and solutions of the project for each component and the project management life cycle. You must be able to identify the forests and the trees. You need to be able to differentiate the tree from the forest and the forest from the trees. This includes the overall goal and objectives of every component. You are like a conductor of an orchestra, directing different instrument groups so they can play the music together and in harmony. Your project details include project finance, clients and project schedules, strategic plans, scope, budget, quality control, cost, time, resources, and etc. Project detail also includes the external environment. Among them is your client's decision-making environment, various approval agencies, processes, and requirements, worksite safety, and now COVID-19 health rules and guidelines. I was a project manager for 250-hectare development on a small island. The usual local government zoning, design, approval process, and requirements are well established. As I was doing my research on the history of the land, I found that I need a timber license to cut and remove trees because the site is a green field, have trees that are 40, 50, 100 feet tall. So I allow time to arrange that. The fallen trees were required to transport to a sawmill off the island. The only access to the island is by boat. The ferry runs every 2 hours and of limited capacity. Arrangement with the government ferry to reserve space for timber trucks on and off the ferry are required. This affects the work schedule. It ends up the trucks are required to transport fallen trees early in the morning. So the residents along the travel route were in uproar, and that required dealing with the public. This situation is not common for land development, but needed special attention for a large project in a small island. If I did not try to understand the details of the project, I would be caught with surprises, and long project delays would be unavoidable. You understand well the project and tasks, manpower, and resource requirements and match them well. You explain well to your team the why of the project and the tasks as well. You also explain the why of your decisions. This is of particular importance if the decisions are multidimensional, like the timber licenses and transporting fallen trees. The usual telling of how and what may not be sufficient for team members to buy in and to follow. Team members usually perform better knowing why. The project details also include knowing the client and approval agencies. You learn their characteristic traits. You communicate with them regularly and frequently with project progress and decisions made. If decisions and other conditions adversely affect the project, you must maintain a calm and positive mind and inform your client and approval agencies without delay. You should always take note and organize your work. You always take initiatives and anticipate. You always see the forest and the trees. You always review notes at the beginning of the day and before a meeting. You do not postpone something that you can do today. Knowing yourself and knowing the project well, you will always succeed. Hasu.
Thank you, Hison, for addressing this. I think that your great contribution at this addressing this response is your telling history, this history about how you identify the requirements that you don't know in this project in the Iceland. I think that this is an excellent contribution about the transcendency and responsibility under the competence degree level from any project manager before starting any project. So to know the project and to know the context and to know yourself. So thank you so much. The organization is asking to try to speed up because we consume 25 minutes. It's really fantastic, but we need to speed up question and answers.
Okay.
So let's do that. If you agree, my next question is about another of your principles. So what is critical? What is critical knowing yourself and other criticals, running efficient and effective projects?
Yes. One of the generally speaking, you have to know yourself and you have to know the project type.
Mm-hmm.
You need to understand your own characteristic trait, your kind of personality, and there are many sites on the web you can do self-evaluation. Okay, different projects require different traits to be effective. You also need to know the traits of your team members. With a good understanding of the project tasks, you can assign the appropriate member to the task, right people for the right job. Generally speaking, you face 3 project types. The traditional project with very low risk, where goal is clear and solution is clear. The agile project where the goal is clear and the solution is unclear. And the extreme project where the goal is unclear and the solution is unclear. There are many theories of characteristic traits. One example is the disk system. You basically can be one of these four traits. You're the dominating type, dominance. You're the influential type. You're the steady type, as we engineers are. You are the conscientious type. There are also many leadership styles. I use an example here that there are 4 types. They're centered, that the project manager is the only person that's important. That's one. The visionary, then people look forward, doing big things for the long term. Result-oriented, like manufacturing and construction, and relationship, like a salesman. As a project manager, you must understand your own strength and weakness with your characteristic trait and leadership style. You can match your project type carefully. You help your team leader to develop the same approach so they and their team members can be matched for the appropriate task. For example, a researcher who usually does experimental work should not be the project manager for task-oriented production project. For such a project, you should be a task master with a set of prescribed performance and process. Knowing yourself well, know your team member well, know your project and task well, and you will always succeed. Hashu.
Great, thank you once again. It's really amazing hearing your really direct and centered responses. This is also related with my near question to you, because many times we focus in the project manager, you hopefully only in technical concepts, right? So my question is, why are the personal growth and professional development important for the project manager and from their project team?
Yes, Hashu, this is important. So I'll take a couple more minutes to explain this. In my engineering experiences, I value those organizations and bosses who encourage me to grow and develop, both technically, mentally, and personally. A team with growing and developing members is a winning team. You need a winning team to succeed. It is important that you succeed in your team. Your success is your team's success, and your team's success is your success. IPMA Peru's motto, better people, better projects, and better world, encourages everyone to grow so the world is a better place. In the version 4 competencies baseline, you contain 10 people competencies, 5 perspective competencies, and 13 practice competencies. One can see the importance to grow from practice competencies to perspective and from level D to level A. You must help your team member to grow from level D to level A. You must grow together. This is very important. Even though it's at a different levels, you should help your team without expecting any rewards. Your mentorship must consider the individual member's need and future. You must member your team members to help them grow and help them develop. You must mentor your team members without expecting any rewards. You will develop trust, respect, and love, so your team will gladly follow you. You encourage success for yourself and others. You acknowledge the value of you and your team's work. You have to learn and grow as well together, and this is very important. You have to learn and grow as well together with your team and your community. In my experience, I mentor and guide hundreds of young engineers working for me in 5 offices in North America. I also mentored university engineering students. I asked them, what do engineers do? And they all answer me, we build bridges, roads, railways, ships, aeroplanes, machines, etc. I told them that is what they build, but why are they building them? I mentor them to think on a much higher level. Engineers build for the benefit of mankind. Many of them were awakened by this answer and saw the world with different perspective. Many engineers who were mentored and guided by me told me later that in their senior positions, they found them what they learned from me very useful and helpful in their work, and they also mentoring younger engineers as well. I mentor and guided them to be a better person and a leader instead of just designing roads and bridges. You are humble, you're patient, you're kind, you're always supporting your team members to grow and develop without judgment and without reward. You shall continue to grow and develop by helping others, to help keep an open mind, to learn from other mentors. New and various experiences will make you stronger. You must learn and grow with your team. This is a lifetime learning experience. Learning to grow yourself and help others will never stop. During this difficult and uncertain time of the pandemic, you as a mentor must extend your positive attitude to help and guide your team, your family, and your community to reduce fear, to reduce anxiety, to preparing them for the next steps to move ahead. You and your team grow together, especially in adversity. I'm running a little bit fast, Hasil.
Thank you so much. Thank you for trying to accomplish the constraint of the time. It's really appreciated, Jason. So before this constraint, hopefully I need to address my, hopefully the last but not least question to you. You are utilizing a very interesting concept. You said sharing, but what means sharing? This is an unusual principle. Can you explain what means sharing?
Yes, Ashil. Sharing is an essential part of having a positive mind. It is fulfilling and makes life meaningful. If we share, other people will also share, and the world will change for the better. However, you must share without any expectations of reward. In my working life, I share many things. I do not have money to share. I taught at night school since the mid-80s, not because I need the very nominal pay, but I believe I have things of value to share. I help new immigrants to get on their feet and to start a career. I help a mentor. I was a mentor of the professional engineers in my province to guide younger engineers when they need help. I volunteer in a non-profit gymnastic society as a director and treasurer and raise funds to build a much needed building so young boys and girls would have a place to train and grow. I gave lectures at the University of Pura since 1994 without any financial gains. I volunteer to teach Aikido and meditation to seniors so old folks can stay healthy and active. I share my life without expecting any rewards and without any personal gains. I believe my sharing have changed many lives and changed the community I live in. I am also certain those I have shared with will also share as well. This will change the community, their community. You should, according to your own set of beliefs, values, and ethics, share what you can without expecting any rewards. Sharing will also help you grow and develop. It will also help you to develop a positive mind and a calm mind. You can share project success and glory with your team. You can share your benefits, including your bonuses, knowledge, compassion, and goodwill with your team. You can share your time and effort. You can share with members of your family, your friends, your team, your community, and the world. It is a the world will change. Hasil.
Thank you so much. Really fantastic things that I'm convinced that the audience will take over looking to reflect. So now that the time is over, now is the time for the audience. They are your principles of project management to be considered. I would like Herman to leave the floor to you, trying to condensate the questions address it to Hisons. Please, Herman.
Yes, there are some questions that people has raised. One of them is, it says that thanking you for all this interesting conversation and the principles you are sharing. And the question is that asking about the traits of the team members. And according to Victor, who is the one who raised the question, he says that most of that 9 of 10 problems in projects come from problems of communication. So what would you say about this problem?
Now, the problem about communication, if the communication is bad, is the leader's problem. It is not the project team member's problem. Because you as a project manager, you need to find a way to communicate with your team members. For example, if one of your team leader is a dominating type, and he doesn't care about details, they study them well. And if you end up telling them all the details of the project, the bottom line, and every little details, he have no patience for it. Right? So when you communicate, you have to know your personality type, whether you're the detail type, the dominating type, and the person you talk to, are they the dominating type? Are they the steady type? Now, when you look at, if you go to CAS, sorry, you go to DISC on the website in the internet, they would have a free evaluation, and to tell you what personality trait you would have. And if you understand what are those parameters and criteria that they ask you, and what are the 4 personality types, how do you talk to them? How do you convince them? You have to talk to them in a way they understand. It's not a way that you need to tell them. It's a way that you understand them. No different than a teacher. If a student fails, it's not the student's problem. It's the teacher's problem, because you fail to teach the student that the way that he can learn. Now, I know time is short, but one more topic is here, is that people listen. People take in information differently. Some people see, they want to put things on paper, visually. Some people like to hear, like to talk, they like to discuss. So they like to hear. And not so much in the project management, but other way to take information is touch and feel, like cooking and touching and making potteries and touch and feel. That's why when you go to dinner, the hostess would support your arm to lead you to the table. And those are the way to communicate. Not everybody is the same. You as a project leader has to learn that. So I encourage every one of you to go and explore your leadership, your personality trait, and what are they, and to understand your team members' personality trait. You will then know how to communicate with them. And that includes your client, your developer, that include the approving agency, government employees. Hasil, or Herman. This answer the question.
Herman?
Herman, you are muted, Herman.
Gracias. Gracias, Jensen. I think we need to organize a special webinar about this DISC approach of personalities, because it seems to be interesting. All the people can go to Google and look for this DISC.
DISC, DISC.
DISC. It's interesting to take a look to this. I think may give us some important things. And there is other question from Jose Luis. He says that I would like to ask about the things you mentioned. Projects spend money and businesses earn money. What would you say to people who only think about making money I mean, they only focus on the business and not on the projects.
Well, now, let me differentiate my talk today is about project manager, not about project management and projects per se. So a business, when I'm in business, I employ 30 engineers and $5 million a year in cost. I have to make that money so I can pay my people and make money so I can buy new computers for my office and new equipment and so on. So I have to earn money and spend money and hope that to keep a little bit for everyone else. As a project manager and a project in itself, usually they spend money. So for example, you're the project manager for building a high rise. What do? You find the best contractor, you find the best supplier, best labor. Your concern is not making money. Your concern is spending your resources efficiently and effectively. I think that is the difference I would point out. I don't know if I answered the question, but that is what I point out.
Okay, I think so. I think there are no other questions. Yeah, Jesus.
Fine. Thank you, Germán, for your contribution. I think I agree with you about your reflection that we should consider in another webinar more time addressing this approach, because the message is quite different. So we are managing people and projects, and this end is the key, because will means people own projects and people between projects. It's not about project managers or project management. It's much more wider and much more deeper, because it's about how the people can interact each other, making possible the success of the project, how the project deliver many things that not only ROI, not only return of the investment, for sure. Some kind of projects must to produce this ROI, but many other projects is not about money, and this is related with the previous Jose Luis question. So because the time is going, it's practically 10 minutes to go. Jason, beside of my, once again, deepest gratitude to you for your time and your relevant contribution today, I would like to ask you if you can make some wrap up about main ideas and making as well some closing remarks, please.
Yes, Ashu, thank you. At the beginning of my talk, my answering your questions, I say that each one of these principles can spend a couple of days to kind of elaborate, to discuss, to go on. So I throw the 6 principles at you as a total picture, and hope that you can go and explore. You can go and read and learn. So I have discussed these 6 principles of you as a project manager. These principles is about your own growth, to be a better person. I discussed decision making, leadership, project knowledge, understanding your characteristic traits, mentoring, help others to grow and develop, and sharing. These principles are not about they are not about project management. They are about you and being a project manager. If you do this well, you will manage the project well. The motto of better people, better projects, and better world is about a better world. It starts with you. It ends up with a better world. A better world needs better project. Better projects needs better people. The better people are you. If you change with these 6 principles, the world will change with you. Thank you, Hasu.
Thank you so much, Jason, and fully agree. Only the people can influence in another one, and only the people working as team can change the world. And we need to change the world. And the project are the tool under a strategy for many changes that our society needs. And it's for that in IPMA we don't utilize the concept of project economy. We utilize the concept of project-oriented society, because the economy is only a face of the coin of the project society. And for that,
I do have a closing remark when you finish, Hasu.
Thank you. And this is your message and my message, because you are underlining our domain of people in our ICP, because they are self-reflection and self-knowledge as principal competence, managing your most precious heritage, who is yourself. You, people, is the key, building trust and many other things. So we have still 7 minutes time, if you would like to address, to remark something.
So Jensen, I think you wanted to say something?
Sure. I'll close by saying about during this pandemic crisis, as a project manager and a leader of your team, you can lead them out of their fear, lead them out of their anxiety. Be positive, be calm. You can be a leader and remind your friends and their families and their community that they must follow COVID-19 health rules and guidelines. We're in this together, and only by uniting our actions that we can fight this virus. For the foreseeable future, there will continue to be a new normal. This includes your daily life, your work, a new way of doing projects, and conducting your professional life. What remains the same is our commitment to be a better person, and lead your team to learn and adapt the new approach. During this difficult time, you must be positive, you must be kind, you must be calm, and you must be safe. Thank you, Hasu. Adapting these 6 principles from now on: be a better person, be a better project manager, resulting in a better world. And if you change, the world will change with you. I wish you all the best and stay safe, and thank you.
Thank you. Thank you once again. Thank you very much, Jason, indeed, for your knowledge and experience sharing these 6 principles, and your recommendations was just great. Now I would like to give the floor to Germán or to Sofia from the university for adding some final words. Once again, really appreciate it, Jason. Take care and stay safe.
Privileged to be here, Jesus.
Thank you very much, Jesus. Thank you very much, Jensen, for this very nice conversation. We have learned many things from your experience. I have to say also that Jensen is a global expert in transportation engineering, and he has a lot of things to share doing business with the transportation projects. And about that, we will organize another meeting. Hope, Jensen, you can help us again. You are always helping Peru. I know you. We are in your heart. Thank you for this. The next webinar will be on Friday, 25th of September, 10:30 a.m. Peru hour, and will be about young project managers and creativity. In this case, our friend Niklas Bein from Germany will be answering questions from Jose Luis Alvarado, who is our young crew coordinator from the young crew Peru. So you are invited to this very much. Thank you for all of them. And Sophia, I don't know if you want to say something. Thank you also.
Thank you very much, Edson. Thank you very much, Jesús. La Escuela de Posgrado y el Departamento de Ciencias Económicas y Empresariales de la Universidad Católica San Pablo, el International Project Management Association, IPMA, les agradece su participación. Les solicitamos, por favor, contestar la breve encuesta que se ha enviado por el chat y los invitamos a participar de nuestros próximos eventos. Buenos días. Gracias.
Gracias.